pleased to say joining us tonight is Mollie Hemingway, senior editor for The Federalist, Fox News contributor, also co-author of the important book, Justice on Trial, the Kavanaugh Confirmation and Future of the Supreme Court. Mollie, great to see you. I want to say just thank you for your efforts to keep the record straight and to enlarge the body of public knowledge throughout the weekend. Certainly, it was amazing when we got this New York Times account. Your first reaction, you knew it was bunkum.
Well, the way I knew it was bunk was that I actually secured an advance copy of the book and I read it, and I noticed that in the book the authors concede quietly that the alleged victim of this bizarre assault allegation that they were levying herself says she has no memory of it. She didn't talk to them, but she communicated through several friends that she has no recollection of any such incident. There is no defense for not including that in the original New York Times piece, the excerpt from the book. They knew they were intentionally omitting it. They also omitted other things, such as that the person alleged to be making this allegation is himself a Clinton attorney, literally defended Bill Clinton during the Whitewater investigation, where, of course, Brett Kavanaugh was on the other side of that investigation. So
right.
Failing to mention that they have this longstanding conflict, that he is someone tied to the Clinton camp, and that the alleged victim denies it through friends, through several friends. It's a horrible thing, although not altogether surprising to see from the New York Times, unfortunately.
It is quite something that we have to say that that it's not surprising any longer for a paper that once prided itself on being the paper of record, as Chuck Grassley today said on the Senate floor, all the news that's fit to print. My God, how could any, I don't know, novice editor ever imagine that was fit to print? How could any cub reporter think that that was fit to print? Unless he or she had a book they wanted to move.
Well, I do think part of the problem is that these two New York Times reporters got a contract to write a book full of dirt about Brett Kavanaugh. They failed to find any, and then they pretended that they had it in any case. And it's important when you're a reporter to not do that. If you don't find information to support any of the allegations that were out there, and they didn't, they should have the honesty to report it. They actually do have something in the book that truly is blockbuster, which is they have quotes from Leland Kaiser on the record about how she didn't believe her friend. She thought the story didn't add up. We actually first reported that in detail in Justice on Trial, but they had it too. That's actually blockbuster stuff. They chose to release this other information that turned out to be wrong instead.
Let me get your sense of two things. One, what can we do to stop this kind of politics of personal destruction on the part of the left? Frankly, left or right, it's got to stop.
It absolutely needs to be taken seriously. And one of the things that's interesting is nobody's been held accountable for what they did to Kavanaugh last year. So why would they stop doing it this year? There were criminal referrals sent to the Department of Justice. I don't believe anything has been done on them. None of the senators who behaved improperly on the Senate Judiciary Committee have had any action taken against them, whether they were releasing committee confidential documents like Cory Booker, or what Dianne Feinstein did with getting the letter out that she was supposed to, that she circumvented the process that the Senate Judiciary Committee has. And then the media themselves, they give each other awards and promotions instead of firing people. So something needs to be done. People need to be held accountable, because if not, if people in positions of authority don't hold them accountable, it will never stop, as we see this weekend with the New York Times.
Do you think that the Times should fire these two reporters?
Not just the reporters, any editor that was involved, and they should do something significant to show that they take this seriously, whether that's hiring people who are outside of their tiny little echo chamber, making changes in how they promote people, and then thinking about whether they should be pushing narratives that are false instead of reporting the facts. Massive changes need to take place. The very least would be, of course, holding these people accountable for putting forth this false story, whether it was the reporters or the editors, everyone who was involved.
Mollie, thank you so much. And I want to say, if I may, to the New York Times, if you need an exemplar, if you need a model, I would say Mollie Hemingway would be a great place for you to turn. Mollie Hemingway, thanks for being with us. The book is Justice on Trial.